Welcome to That's What She Said, where we'll spill the tea on women empowerment in the Great Lakes Bay region with your host, Christiana Malacara.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of That's What She Said with me, your host, Christiana Malacara. Thank you so much for being here and investing into yourself and pouring women's empowerment, but women's empowerment and all empowerment into yourself. Each and every week, we sit down with a wonderful woman of the Great Lakes Bay region here in Michigan, and we talk about just a huge spectrum of topics with women all across the board in the region. And it's an absolute honor to be this host of That's What She Said for you. The ways that you can listen live on Thursdays at 1:30 on the radio waves and WSGW.com, on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. or Sunday evenings at 6. Anywhere you can get your podcast, we're there. That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara. And then on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all those wonderful, fun places that are on your phone that distract us. Anyway, so thank you for investing in yourself and supporting That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara. I have a few thoughts that have crossed my mind since last That's What She Said day. One, it's my favorite day of the week. Two, it's one of those days. That's What She Said day is always a day that it's a good reset. I clear my head in a sense. I want to be able to fully commit all of my energy to our listeners. And those days in between, some days are a little lower than others, which is natural and okay and fine. And those are I call them my character building days. But I had a day, right? And it was just kind of one of those, it's like, oh, today is just, it's no fun. It's lame. I'm over it. I'm ready to go to bed. And then I had to check myself. And I wrote it down and I thought, even my worst day is a day that someone else may dream that they've had. Even my worst day, it could be the bottom of my week. But there's someone out there that wishes that they had my worst day and that could be their best day one day. And that just turned everything around. A new light, a new fire, just is here. So I wanted to pass that thought along to you. And hopefully throughout your next week, until next That's What She Said day, you can reflect on that and say, you know what? I'm having a pretty crummy day, but there's only up from here. And stay positive and just keep believing in yourself as you move through the rest of your day and the rest of your week. So once again, thank you for joining us on That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara. And I have to introduce our guest. This woman is amazing and she glows and she has the fire inside her that I just, it's just this, it's a fire, but it's like a giggly fire. Like she's just like really fun to be around. And she has some really cool outlets within work for our community. So without further ado, we have Marie Batkoski-Sullivan with us.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here today.
I'm happy that I have you here. Like you are this summer's busiest woman. I was like, you know what? We narrowed it down. We got the day. You're here and I'm excited to be here. So thank you for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you for inviting me. I really feel privileged.
Oh, stop it. So, I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us how the community might know you.
All right. So Marie Batkoski-Sullivan, right? I have grown up in Saginaw my entire life. I went to school here, raised a family here, worked here. I've really never left. That's why I think Saginaw is such my passion and the community is such a passion of mine, which is how I landed here today. But I want to just give you my career path because I'm always talking to kids about careers and whatnot. So I always have my elevator speech of career path, right?
Let's do it.
I I got my first real job at Saginaw YMCA. That was my first real job, like non-waitressing, office setting, real job. I was going to college at Delta College, and I got my start at the YMCA. Worked there for about 6 years, really saw their impact that they have in the community. And I think that's where I kind of maybe got my spark to help others, was by working in that job. At that time, they had people who lived in the towers there. And so I saw how the YMCA was able to give back to the community in that role. Okay, so I did that for a while. Then I worked in construction for 20 years. I was a project manager, had no experience at all. I got hired by a nice man, Michael Emenecker, who ended up being my mentor for construction. He's since passed away, but he was a member at the Y, and he interviewed me on a treadmill and asked me, some questions. And if I ever had experience in construction, I was like, nope, I have none. But I had taken some engineering classes. So he just saw a spark in me, took a chance on me. So I worked in construction for 20 years at various locations at J.R. Heinemann, R.C. Hendrick, and Spence Brothers. So again, building this network of people. This is where I'm going to go to. From the construction industry, then I worked for Michigan Works. Graduated from Delta, did 4 years at Saginaw Valley. Didn't finish my degree at Saginaw Valley. I changed my major 5 times, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I ended up quitting school, college, working full-time, got a job. My last job at RC Hendrick before going to Michigan Works, I decided I was running out of construction companies to work for. So I went back and got my degree at Central Michigan University, fire up chips, in community development. So I got my degree, which helped me get my job at Michigan Works. And then at Michigan Works, I worked there for a few years, again, building a network of people. I was coordinator of business partnerships there, and I oversaw a business services team. So I was networking with businesses, working 5 counties, Saginaw Bay, Midland, Isabella, and Gratiot counties. Met a lot of people, a lot of chamber events, a lot of rubber chicken dinners, a lot of breakfasts. When I was working there, then I met Jenny Gino, and Jenny Gino was working with the Saginaw ISD at the time, and she was building a team for career and technical education. So I helped her with a grant that she was working on while I was at Michigan Works and she was at the ISD. And when that grant came to fruition and she could hire, she reached out to me and said, hey, I would like you on my team. So of course I said yes. And then I worked for the Saginaw ISD for 6 years in career and technical education. In my elevator speech for that was I connected students to employers and employers to students. I was the fun aunt of education. I got to take kids on field trips and guest speakers and provide career awareness, career exploration for students of all age levels. From that, up until 3 months ago, I worked at the ISD, and then I landed my job here as the executive director for Positive Results in downtown Saginaw. So I really feel like my entire career path, my entire history of working professionally has landed me to where I am today and makes me the best person for this job today. And that's how people know me, right? Is from construction, is from the ISD, is from Michigan Works. Everybody knows me that way. So this is where I am.
So what you're doing now, one, you breezed by it, but what's the name and what's the position that you hold?
Absolutely.
And what do you do?
So I'm the executive director for Positive Results downtown Saginaw. So people know it as Pride in Saginaw, but because I'm trying to not change the name, but at least talk more about Positive Results and just label it Positive Results downtown, shorter, PRD.
So what do you do there?
I do. So I'm the executive director, and it's a 1-person show. We have a board of, amazing volunteers, and we have committees of amazing volunteers, but I promote Saginaw, which is what I love to do. It's my passion, is to promote Saginaw. And I've done it for a very long time for free, and now I'm getting paid to do it.
I think that's interesting that the sense of, hey, I'm promoting Saginaw. You've also are a great advocate for this because you've been in these many pockets, right? You've existed and had career paths, construction, education, job retention, students,
workforce development. Yes.
Here we go. All 4 corners, right? This is a lot of movement in a career, though.
It is.
This is. And I'm going to age myself. and saying, I'm a millennial, and millennials on average, it's said that a millennial will move through 7 careers
Wow.
in the time that they land on, okay, I'm going to stay at this one because I'm kind of comfortable and the schedule works and things like that. But you've done this.
Yeah. And I'm not a millennial. I won't say where I fall in that, but I am not a millennial. And I look back at that and think, okay, similar to school and college, going to college for 5+ years and not finishing with a degree, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was just kind of testing the waters and testing new things. And I really feel like a higher power has led me to where I am today by the same thing, by working in construction for so long, by working in workforce development, by working with education. And now I finally landed on that spot of where I think I should be. I don't foresee me doing anything else beyond this.
So we've landed.
We finally have 2 feet on the ground.
Feel good about it.
Absolutely.
You're glowing when you use your smile change.
I do. I love talking about it because I love my community and I love helping others and I love creating positive energy around me. So this to me is like a perfect fit for everything that has come before that.
You said you changed your majors 5 times.
Yes.
What did you start at?
Okay. I started as mechanical engineering. I was told by my high school counselor that I was good in math and science. So mechanical engineering is where you should go. Well, we didn't have the technology that you have today where you can dig deep into your personality and what fits you. I think it was more you had good grades in this and therefore you should go into something math and science related.
But isn't that still interesting in the fact that we have counselors still that advise us these things?
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, I trust you.
Right. But looking now after spending time in education, counselors are overwhelmed. They have a lot going on. So I don't blame the counselor at the time at all. But that's what they had to go on, was more of a report card rather than analysis or a study of who you are as a person and emotionally and what's your vibe. Because now where I am today and looking back at mechanical engineering, those are so different, right? I'm a people person. I never would have thought I was a people person back then, but I'm definitely a people person.
So let's just say you went to school for mechanical engineering. Yeah. You graduated. I'm a mechanical engineer. What do you think that would have looked like for you though?
I think I would have been, what is the word I'm looking for? I think I would have been contained and not be able to, and this is probably just a negative thought of it, not be able to explore more out of my outward personality. It's very structured, I guess I would say, where the job I have now is unstructured. It's very free flowing and very relaxed and very stressful at the same time.
So in academia, what was that pivot where you're like, this is too rigid. I need something a little more free will.
So I think what it was I was in class with a lot of people who had co-op jobs at Dow, and they knew that that's what they wanted to do. And I was working at Pizza Hut as a waitress. So I was like, this isn't really, like, I didn't have the experience these other people had. So I just kind of knew I wasn't in the right environment. I felt uncomfortable. I felt insecure. I've dealt with insecurity for my entire life. You wouldn't be able to tell that by who I am today. I know, but I am super insecure. So I just realized that I didn't fit into that class setting. And I was like, okay, I can change my major. So I changed it to secondary education with a math and physics minor. Again, math and science I was told I was good at, but not really good at.
So there's this pattern of, I was told this.
Yes.
Someone said this to me.
Yes.
And so I guess I must be good at it.
Yes. Instead of being able to reflect on your own self and say, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? Again, I don't know if that happens now or not, but it definitely didn't happen back then. You just kind of were placed into a path and told to go this way. So that's why I've loved working with kids the last 6 years, is because I get to help them understand not everybody's path is the same. And I love being able to tell kids, I didn't graduate right out of high school with a college degree. It took a long time to get my degree, actually. And I quit and went back, and no two people have the same path. And that's okay. Because I think so many students think that they have to graduate high school, go to college, finish college, get a degree, get a job, have a family, but get a house. And it's got to be so structured. But I think now that I've been, now at this age, I have been able to reflect more and say, that's definitely not the case. Let's do what makes you happy. Let's find your passion and let's go from there.
So this takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
And I'm just thinking, like, if I was in this classroom and you're telling me, hey, based off life experiences, no two paths are the same, and it's okay to jump ship now and then come back and then revisit this idea.
Yeah.
You know, these students now have this great advantage, you know, if they're willing to listen.
Yeah. Which is part of the problem. You know,
exact
struggle, challenge.
To take experience from other people and then move and navigate through their life with this experience. But you said the word insecurities.
Yeah.
And then you switched tenses here. You said I was, and then you said I am.
That's something I struggle with, right? I've struggled with insecurity my entire life, but I feel that I am conquering it daily. This position has given me a lot. I feel like, again, this is my spot, and I feel like I've let some of those insecurities go. I was always insecure about not having a college degree. So I felt like that was what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to graduate high school, get a degree, and then you fit into this society standards of, you know, because
you were told this.
Correct. From, you know, teachers and whatnot, or society, that you had to have a degree. So I felt inferior. So I would, and this is, so we're going to be honest, right? I would volunteer everywhere. I was volunteering at the Y after I left. I would volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, other organizations. I never volunteered at my son's school because I didn't, in high school. Elementary school I did. I volunteered, coached. I coached a lot of sports, but
why is that?
I felt insecure of other parents who had college degrees, and I thought they would look down upon me as being the single mom with no degree. And who is this person? She's not at our level. Again, this is just me and my brain telling me these things. Nobody told me that. Nobody said I wasn't, you know, that you're nothing or that you're not worthwhile. But that was myself telling myself that. So I struggled a lot with that. I had relationships as well, personal relationships with men, and I felt insecure, and they weren't the right relationship. Now I can share, I just got married 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I found the person that accepts me for who I am, and my faults and all, and my insecurities. So it's interesting for me to look back on my life and go, okay, it took me a long time to get to where I am, and right now where I am is the perfect fit. It's the job, it's my family, it's my friend circle, it's my husband, it's all of that. I'm truly blessed for where I am.
So this mindset of saying, I this down talk on yourself, you know, I'm not up to par, right? I can't volunteer at my son's school. I'm not at that standard.
Right.
Why and what can you, here we go. Let me say, what advice do you give to someone who is listening and is like, yep, I don't go to their school, or I'll volunteer here and not there, or, you know, just there's many ways that you can push yourself down, right? That inner voice is so much stronger than we think it is.
It is. It's super loud.
What advice would you give them? Maybe just two pieces of advice that you would give, you know, I say them, but her, because it's a little more challenging as a woman.
Absolutely. Therapy. Therapy is amazing. I wish I would have gone to a therapist when I was in high school compared to waiting until I was in my mid 30s. And then, I mean, I will be honest too, like medication has helped me and with my anxiety. If that was offered to me as a younger person, I probably would have had some of those situations that I went through. But at the same time, I really feel like every situation was a lesson I learned. So I was able to, whether it was a bad relationship, right? It was still a lesson learned. And I could look back at it and say, okay, in the moment, it might have been terrible, but I learned a lot from that relationship or that time. Yeah. Same thing with jobs, right? If they weren't the right job, that's okay, because I eventually learned from those. So therapy is huge for me. I'm a big advocate of that. And if you can't, let's say, afford therapy, or you're too scared to do therapy, then seek out a best friend, right? Someone that can be your therapist for you. I have an amazing best friend. She's taught me to be a better friend. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. So if you can't afford therapy, find yourself a best friend.
You said she taught you how to be a better friend?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you?
She is an amazing person. So she gives back to others unselfishly. And she has taught me little things check in with other people, right? She checks in with me all the time, and I've learned to be better to other people to do that same thing. So I check in regularly with my friends, or not even people that I've talked to in a long time. I will check in with them. If I've had this thing where if you think about somebody, you should reach out to them.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can just be, hi, how's it going? Thought of you, wanted to let you know. That's it. I'm not looking for any feedback. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for lunch. I just want, when you think of somebody, there's a reason to think about them, right? So let that person know that you thought about them, and it makes them feel good.
I like that idea.
It's cool. So I did this for a
Yeah.
while. This was way before COVID, but when I did that, I would do it on Facebook.
Okay.
So I would think of somebody and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to shoot them a post on their feed that says, hey, was just thinking about you today. I hope you feel as special as I think you are. And that's all I did. And I picked different people throughout like a month. I was doing this every single day of just making people feel better about themselves, just for that one moment where you just thought about them.
So I'm going to quickly breeze over this before we take a break.
Yeah.
I have this theory about deposits, right?
Yep.
And so you're constantly, you can, it just depends on who you are, right? You're making deposits in other people.
Yeah.
And then it could be anything. Their insecurities might disappear.
Right.
Their confidence might grow.
Right.
They're anything.
You can have them
all
just
of it.
smile for one day.
Exactly.
Like that moment, not even a day, a moment of a smile.
I love the fact that you're making deposits in people, and then in Saginaw and beyond. So we're going to take a quick break. We have Anne-Marie with us on That's What She Said. And when we come back, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into, let's say, I don't know, spill the tea on empowerment maybe. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be here when you get back. Thank you.
That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara is back. Now let's spill the tea.
Hi, and welcome back to the second half of That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara. Who's that girl? That's me. More importantly, I have a really cool woman here in the studio with me. That would be Marie Batkoski-Sullivan. And she is just making waves in her career. In tremendous ways. And I have the privilege to talk to her today about a couple things. So in the last segment, we were discussing work, right? And all the facets that you've kind of navigated through, and then education and changing your major 5 times. Okay. I'm not calling you out, but I'm calling you out. I think that's a record here. So when you're over here and you're changing your major and then you land on something, what was it that you landed on?
Being the executive director for Positive Results Downtown Saginaw, where we put on events for the community, free events for the community, and just creating this positive environment for Saginaw, downtown Saginaw. But I'm trying to expand that to downtown, Old Town, Saginaw County, wherever we can take it.
Yeah. I mean, positivity should flow, right?
Absolutely. We
flow.
hear so much negativity that if we can do the positivity and build that up, I think we'll overtake the negativity.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. People love good news.
Yes, they do. But we don't give them enough of it.
We don't give them enough of it.
No. We're bombarded, right, with all of the negative stuff. So
yeah. It's easy to swallow the bad news, right?
Yeah.
To just push it
what
over.
do they say? It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile, or so I just try to smile as much as I can.
Oh, it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Yeah. That's interesting. I like that. So in your life, who are the people that make you smile?
My husband, number one, right? My best friend, my son. I have one son. He's 27. He's a police officer for Mount Pleasant. And my grandbabies. I have 2 grandbabies. They make me smile. And then I surround myself with positive people. So we talked earlier about my therapist or having a therapist. One of the best pieces of advice I got from my therapist was to remove toxic people from your life. We examined some people that were in my life at that time, and she asked me, like, well, what are you getting in return from them? And I never thought of it that way, because I don't usually think about what am I getting out of anything, right? I'm always giving to others. And she said, what are you getting in return from these people? And why would you allow that toxicity into your life? And I was like, wait, I can remove them, or I can, put them a little bit farther away. And she really helped me. My circle of friends then decreased a little bit, but I was much happier of a person. I don't know if you have that experience or not, where you're surrounded by people who negative talk or just negative attitudes. And it's not because they're bad people. It's just the way that they look at their life. So I really surround myself with positive people. And I think that is the key to a lot of my happiness.
So when we're looking at friendship, we're going down this rabbit hole, okay?
Okay.
When we're looking at friendship, it sounds like you're thinking quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
So friend breakups. That requires a friend breakup.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And is that tough to do?
It is tough to do. I don't know if there's any great way to do it. And I think for me, it was just more not accepting invitations and or inviting, which I know could be harsh rather than having a honest conversation. But I was kind of younger when I did this. So to this day, I know I'm still working on making amends to some of those relationships to let them know why. Because I do feel like I have one friend in particular that I'm thinking about that I do feel like we spent a lot of time together and I never gave her a real reason why we don't anymore. So I do feel like I owe her a little bit of explanation, but that will come in time. It'll come eventually. Friend breakups, I think life happens and we just go our different ways. I can, again, a couple of people in my head come to mind, and I think, okay, we just travel different paths. Doesn't mean we're not going to still be friends, but we're not going to be the close friends that we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's okay.
You think it's okay?
Yeah, I know it's okay.
Oh, I like that. I know it's okay.
You talk to yourself that way, right? You have to say, you can't wish for things. I hope this happens. You have to make it happen, right? So I'm always trying to say, it will be this way. It's not going to rain today. Instead of, I hope it doesn't rain. It won't rain today. Or it's just positive talk.
Positive talk. So that was kind of what I was going to segue into, actually, is this word positivity. Positivity keeps coming up.
Right.
Positive talk. That I said in the last segment, I said, we have this little voice inside our head that is so much more powerful than what we think it is. And it can be a negative. It can be positive. It can be neutral. It can be daunting. What are some things that you tell yourself, if it's an affirmation, a quote, something like, what is something that you tell yourself that you would, I don't know, tell someone who has, low self-esteem or is thinking these things about, oh, I'm a single mom, what are we doing? Like, what is something you would tell her?
So there was a period of time in my life where I meditated quite a bit. I still try to do it, but I do it in a different way now, and I can tell you that in a minute. But I really was listening to a lot of videos, YouTube videos of positive affirmations, and I would just put them on my phone, and I would, right before I would go to sleep, I would play them. And so it was subconsciously going to be playing while I was going to sleep. That helped a ton to be able to listen to positive affirmations that I was subconsciously hearing while I was, guiding off into sleep land or whatever.
Wow. Okay. First, nobody has ever said that.
Really?
I think we're over 50 women and sitting across from me at this point. Nobody's ever said that honestly, that sounds like you're reprogramming your brain at night.
I had to.
Why do you say that though?
Because I wasn't able to do it by myself. So I really felt like, and I don't remember if I just did this or if I had read it, but I just felt like that was a downtime too, right? We don't take a lot of time for ourselves. So I was like, okay, I'm already sleeping. So I'm going to play this recording and then I don't have to do a lot of work for it because it's going to do the work for me, like subconsciously. It helped a ton. I mean, that meditation scenario, if you want to call it, part of my life really changed my mindset. And so I really think that you should try it. If you're looking for something, I would definitely give it a try. And you can't just do it once. You got to do it like multiple times.
It's a reprogramming technique.
Yes. You're reprogramming your brain on how to think and how to treat yourself.
Okay. So meditation, tell us about meditation.
So now what I do, and I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. So my mom passed away, I think 8 years ago now. And I'm big into this number thing. So when you see double numbers, right? If you see 555 or 1111 or 333, it's supposed to mean that there are angels around you. So every morning I get up pretty much every morning at 5:15, 5:30. I don't have an alarm. My body just wakes up automatically.
Yeah.
It's been like this forever. So at 5:55 every morning, I talk to my mom, and it's just for 1 minute of the day. And I just give her what I might be struggling with and put it into her hands. And I ask for things for her help, and appreciate her and tell her how much I appreciate her being in my life spiritually, since she can't be here physically. And then if I see double numbers throughout the day, so right before I got here, it was 111. And so I took a moment to talk to her and get me prepped for this interview and know that she's here with me. So I do that a lot, where I find these double numbers and I see it, and I take one moment, that 1 minute of the day, to be grateful and to be appreciative and to just let things go. That's my new meditation, is the double numbers. I know it kind of sounds hokey, but
No,
it works for me.
it's 155.
Yep. See, I love those numbers.
What was your mom's name?
Diane.
She sounds so special.
She's very special. And I don't want to say she's more special after death, but we just have a powerful relationship in her death. And I know that, again, that sounds weird, but it's so powerful for me.
So in life, which ways did she empower you as her daughter?
I can honestly say I don't know if she did. She came from a different generation. My parents were very hands off, but she was a working mom. My dad was around too. He was, he worked, but I think she was focused on taking care of herself and herself mentally as well. I think get a lot of that from her, which is, again, but then she struggled with cancer and later in her, last years of life. And that's when we bonded the most, was when she was sick.
Isn't that something?
It is. And what does it say, right? It took that for us to get close. I was a typical teenager. I mean, you don't like your parents. I, resented my mom making me wear a dress to a bridal shower or a baby shower and spend time with cousins. And I hated all of that stuff. And I know I was I moved out and moved in with a boy when I was, 22 years old. And I know they didn't really love that. And my dad moved me 6 times in 1 year of different apartments. And so, to have a different relationship with her now is super special to me.
Wow. I'm learning a lot about you and the journey that you had to take to be how positive you are today. Yeah. That's tremendous. It's a lot of growth and just development of yourself, but also checking in with yourself.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not many women know how to do that or can do that or take the time to do that.
I think take the time to do that, right? We are all so busy and we don't ever really put ourselves first. And again, therapy told me that I could do that. I can put myself first, and that's okay. You can ask for more. You can give yourself grace.
When you first started doing those things, how did that make you feel?
It was awkward at first because it wasn't something I was used to. So it was hard. But after you do it and you, like you said, reprogram your brain, then you're like, you feel better. You feel good inside, and something you want to share with others, right? So then I really think by being a better person to myself, I was able to be a better person for others.
In which ways do you feel like you're a better person to yourself?
I give myself a lot of grace now. I don't self-criticize as much. My best friend will still say I still definitely self-criticize, but I don't do it as much. I used to also not share. I would never be doing this kind of conversation.
Really?
Never. I had a friend at one point, we had dinner together. Yep, we had dinner. And I always would direct the conversation to other people. So I would make sure I'm asking you all the questions so I don't have to talk about myself. And we had dinner one night, and she said that she went home and her husband asked, "So how's Anne-Marie doing?" And she said, "I have no idea." And we had spent 2 hours together because I wouldn't allow people to know who I was or what I was going through or talking to. I never would do that.
Where did that come from? Where's the root? Did you figure out where the root was?
No, I think the insecurity of who I was, right? I didn't want to share anything about myself. Let me just dominate the conversation, ask you the questions, and then I won't have to open up about myself. When I finally did start doing that, and I don't remember why or how I fixed that, but when I started doing that, I was like, oh, this is a relief. Like I finally get to let other people in, and those other people can maybe help me with something or encourage me with something. And again, I think that best friend that I have right now, it's perfect for that, because I've allowed her to be in my husband too. I've told him everything where I normally wouldn't share that in a relationship with a man in my past. I don't want people to know that.
So we're talking about two Anne Maries here.
I know
there's two people here. There's two relationships with mom here. There's two, career paths here. There's there's been a shift. Yeah.
Late in life, right? I'm 50.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's excellent. I'm 54. I'll be 55 this year. And I just feel like I'm like almost in prime, right? Because I'm so self-reflective and I'm so happy where I am. And I really think that all of these years of getting to this point is where I'm supposed to be. And it's the happiest part of my life right now.
You're right where you're supposed to be.
I am. I truly believe that. And I'm so grateful. And I was going to mention gratitude. Gratitude is so big to me. You have got to be thankful. You've got to be putting that out in the universe. If you don't appreciate what the universe is providing for you, then you're not going to get it back. And I really feel like practicing gratitude and being grateful for things comes back to you in return. I can't, state it how it works. It just works. And then you put positivity out there, positivity comes back to you 1,000%.
Okay. So there's this pivot, right? And with friends, you're like, I don't really share.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're over here
sharing.
We're sharing. We're sharing it all.
Too much.
Did you shed or grow friends during these two Anne Maries we have?
Right. Both. So I shed some of the friends that, like I said, were toxic. And then I also welcomed in better quality friends. And nothing against the people that have left. I don't want them to think that I'm saying anything about them.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, did this change in this new you, did people evolve with you?
No, not necessarily. So they didn't come alongside. This was a personal growth project that I worked on, but I brought new ones on board. Mm-hmm. So I really now look at my friend circle that I have now, and they truly are great people, and they're caring people, and it's not just their words, it's actions.
What is your relationship with your son?
Fantastic. He's my baby, my one and only. So I only have one son. We talk almost every single day. We check in. He too is very self-reflective at his age of 27. And I think he's learned that from me, to see that. He's a great father of two. He's an outstanding person who loves to give back to his community when he can. I've taught him to be a good volunteer, a good steward of community, and which I think is, helps him to be a police officer. I love my kid.
A steward of community.
Yeah, as a police officer, right? It's not like good guys versus bad guys. It's about being part of the community and wanting to do good for the community.
That's a ripple effect that you started.
It is.
And, as a steward of the community, and I'm replacing the word police officer, you can affect so many people.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about this job, and one of my goals in this job, is to create more partnerships and to bring people alongside. So I'm reaching out to everybody and anybody that wants to be a partner with me for Pride. So I just think, again, surrounding yourself with positive people, we're going to have positive results. Positive results downtown. I didn't mean to do that.
And you're a grandma.
Yeah, I have two grandbabies, a 2.5-year-old Beckett and Delaney, who I think is 9 months. They grow up so fast.
Oh,
they're close.
Babies.
Yeah, they're here. They live in Merrill, so I get to see them once a week, every 2 weeks. But I love being a grandma. My mom used to tell me being a grandma was the best thing ever, and it truly, truly is, because you can spoil them rotten, give them back. It's unconditional love. You're not training them to be anything. You're not, you just get to just love and dote all over them.
So this ripple effect you started with your son, you sound pretty confident that you did a good job.
I know I did. I did the best I could be. I mean, I truly, but I had a good family. I had a great family support. My mom and dad were fantastic with me, and being a single mom, unwed mother, they helped take care of my son with me. They supported me. When I first told them I was pregnant, my mom said, we don't really care what happens between you and the father. We're just going to make sure that the son is loved unconditionally, or their grandchild is loved unconditionally. So that meant a lot to me. And I'm really, again, surround yourself with good people.
Did you ever thank her for that?
I don't think so. That's a great thing. I will have to do that tomorrow morning at 5:55 and let her know.
Wow.
And I'll let her know that you told me it.
Uh-oh.
Then she can watch over you.
Well, then, Diane, right? Then
Yeah.
Diane's gonna be waking me up before my alarm.
Right.
Gratitude. So in the act of gratitude, thanking people when they pour positivity into you. Sometimes it's hard to do.
It's
to
not
thank
hard
people.
to do. It's easy to do.
It's easy to do.
I mean, it can be something as simple as a thank you, right? The words, thank you for being who you are. I appreciate you. I appreciate you today for allowing me to be on this show. I appreciate Jonathan and helping us set up our equipment and whatnot.
He's the best.
It's simple. Another thing, I think, just being kind, right? Just be kind. And that's not hard. You can open a door for somebody. You can say good morning to somebody. You can just smile at somebody. So,
well, what did we say? It takes more muscles
to frown than it does to smile.
I really like that. I feel like I'm sure there's a bumper sticker out there somewhere,
right,
with that. So what is something that your son has taught you?
Oh boy, gosh, he's taught me a lot. He's taught me to be patient. He's taught me to give myself grace as well. When I have bad days, I will call him and he'll be like, Mom, you're freaking out. You have to just stop and relax. And he'll break it down for me. Sometimes he plays a parental role when I'm, having a bad day or whatever. So he's got it together for a 27-year-old.
Well, he had you as a mom.
Thank you. Thank you. I will make sure to tell him that.
So in the last minute here, I always ask signature question.
Yeah.
And you had said you didn't tell me that this was the question earlier. So here we go.
Okay.
What is one piece of advice that you would pass along to a woman in the Great Lakes Bay region?
Well, I'm going to say 2. One is take time for yourself, right? It could be just a minute of the day, every day. And 2 is to remove toxic people. Surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with positive friends. It doesn't mean you don't care about those people. It just means that you can't take their negativity or toxicity on. So just surround yourself with positive people.
I appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for tuning in. And that's what she said.